welcome back to the Photoshop Basics for Scrapbooking class. In today's lesson, we are going to be working with journaling cards again, but this time I'm going to show you an alteration that you can make to your journaling cards digitally that can create a super big impact. And that is actually changing the colors of your cards. Now, there are two ways that you can do this, and I'm going to show you both of those ways inside of both Photoshop Creative Cloud and Photoshop Elements. The first is using the Paint Bucket tool, and the second is using the color range filter. So let's go ahead over to the computer so I can show you how both of these different functions can work to change the colors of the cards that you're working on inside of whichever program you're using. I'll see you over at the computer. All right, friends, welcome back over here to my desktop screen. Today we are starting inside of Photoshop Creative Cloud, and I've actually gone ahead and pre-selected a couple of journaling cards that I feel like show a wide range on how you can change the colors of your cards. I've also downloaded a couple of photos that have a bunch of colors in them, so I can show you how you can use the photos that you're working with to help you determine what colors to use when changing the colors of your cards. So let's get started by opening up first the cards that we want to use. I have selected the Moments card from the June Stories by the Month kit from 2022 for Allie Edwards. And I also have from the same collection this multi-circle with the title June, or the abbreviation for June, inside of these wonky circles. These are both fairly easy to change the colors of, and I feel like I'll be able to show you both of the techniques really well with these. Now, the two techniques that I'm showing you today, using the paint bucket and using color range, are not the only two ways of changing colors. They are just the ones that I use and that I feel are the easiest for working with scrapbooking digital cards. All right, so let's start with this Moments card here. Now, there are 6 distinct colors. We have this gray, pink, orange, kind of a green, a blue, and then this darker bluish green, darker teal. Then inside of the 4x6 card, we have the same colors here, just as the circles and the titles. Now, I am going to just pick a random color here, and let me show you how you can change these. So let's go to like this bright red, and the first technique I want to show you is with the Paint Bucket tool. So on the left-hand side here in the toolbar, we're going to click on the Paint Bucket tool, and whatever our top color here is in our color swatches, that's what the Paint Bucket is going to paint. So here I can change this peach color by clicking on the peach to red. Then let's say I want to do, I don't know, this like blue color. We can put that where the orange is. Maybe I want to do kind of a lighter blue that can go here. This is really bright and obnoxious looking, but that's okay. Let's do a green, and then let's do maybe a yellow. These are the most obnoxious colors, but that's okay. Now, what happens if we do the gray? Let's see if it differentiates it between the moments. It sure does. Okay. So we can click on the gray and it's going to fill in the space, and there's some gray in between the letters, so I can also make sure I color those in as well. Now, if we zoom in, you can see that there's a little bit of fuzziness around the word moments that the Paint Bucket doesn't really fix. We could grab our white here and the Paint Bucket and go back over the moments, and that will brighten it up a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily take away from the fuzziness. So if I go to my zoom tool and I make this print size, you know, you can still see it if I undo the white there. Nope, I want to redo that. You know, it's just a bit fuzzy. It probably would be okay printed. It probably would be okay. I might even attempt to print that and just call it a day. But I do want to mention that if you zoom in real close, you might notice that there's some fuzziness around the word. Okay, so there is the first way to change colors. If you go over to the 4x6 card, you can do the same exact thing. So let's just grab, actually, let's just do black. Let's change all of these to black. So with the paint bucket tool selected, you just would make sure your little arrow is on top of whatever the item is you want to recolor, and then click in order to change the color. So I can do that, whoops, I can do that for all of these, changing everything to black. Right? Okay, so I think that'll be good. that gets the point across, right? So we can change it all to black. Now, let's undo that and let me show you the other way you can change colors quickly and easily. So we'll undo all that, we'll undo all of this, bring back the colors. Okay, and this time when we change the colors, you know what, before we do, I'm going to back up to go forward here. Before we go into color range, let me also show you how you can adjust your cards to match your photo. So let's say I was going to document this photo and I want my journaling card to reflect the colors inside of the photo. Instead of clicking on my color swatch and picking a random color, instead of doing that, I can actually click on the swatch there, and it brings up this eyedropper. So I can then click on my photo to pick up whatever that color is and hit OK. Then I can go back to my moments card and fill in that color from my photo. Let's do that again. So we're going to click on the color swatch and then select the color I want to use. I've got this blue. Let's go back to my card. I've got my paint bucket, and let's color in this one. We can go back here again this time. Let's do this, maybe this green color, maybe that one, and we'll color in this row right here. So I've got two more. Let's go back to my color swatch. Let's get some brown. We'll hit OK. We'll paint the bottom, and then I need to replace just the peach. So for that one, let's go with maybe this reddish color, and we'll paint the top. So then this card, if I were to copy it all and select it all, if I put it on here, the colors in this card match the colors in my photo. So I could create a layout where everything looks really cohesive. I can do the same thing with this card. You know, I could come in here and paint the different portions, the different colors that we just selected. And then this card would also go with this particular photo. So this is a great way to take your cards and make them reflect the photo that you're working with, instead of not documenting a photo or turning it black and white because it doesn't match the supplies that you have. One of my favorite techniques for sure. Okay, so let's do this last one. So color range. Color range. All right, so first I'm going to undo all of that so we get back to this part, and then back to normal, what it was before. And then let's change our color to black down here again. So my color swatches are black and white. So to do this other technique for changing colors, what you're going to do is go up to Select at the top menu and click on Color Range. When you have color range selected, it's going to turn everything black and a couple of things white. So what this is essentially doing is when I click on my page, it's going to highlight everything that is the color I currently selected. So let's say I want to change the background. I want to change the white to maybe black instead. I can click inside of this white area, and then I'm going to hit OK. When I hit OK, it then puts these little marching dots all around my card. From here, I can select my color swatch. It changed it to white because I selected white. And let's say I want this to be black. So we got to change this to black before we do the next step. Then we're going to go up to File. Nope, sorry, Edit. We're going to go up to Edit and Fill. This is going to bring up another little menu that says the background color, the foreground color, normal, 100% blending, whatever. So I usually only pay attention to these. I'm going to go with foreground color, which is black, and we're going to hit OK. And then it's going to fill all of that white area with black. When I deselect, you can see that the fuzziness is not so bad. There might be a little bit where there's some imperfections, but for the most part, this is a quick and easy way to fill in all the spots. Plus, when you zoom out to print size, it's much harder to tell that there's any fuzziness at all. So this is one of my favorite ways to change colors when there is a lot of a particular color I want to change. So we could do this again. So we could go up to select color range. This time I could select this teal color, and you see that it's selecting the circle here and the circle here. I can hit OK. And then let's say that I want this one to be white. So let's change this to white. We're going to say edit and fill, foreground color, OK, and then it's going to fill those spots with white. So an easy way to change colors. All right, so let's close out of that, and then let's go over to elements. I can show you the same thing here. So first we're going to open up the two cards. You know, let's just open up this one card to begin with. Okay, so we're going to start with the paint bucket. So here I'm going to click on the paint bucket tool, and then let's just grab some colors and fill them in, right? So this is an easy way to fill in larger sections. A lot of times I will use the paint bucket over color range just because it's quicker for me. It's a little bit more, it's not that it's more precise, but I don't know. It just, there's something about it that's easier for me. So I typically go to the paint bucket. So here is the paint bucket. We just changed all the stripes. All right, so then we'll undo. All I did was select my color and then click inside of the colored section. All right, so next let's open up the photo that we worked with before, and we're going to use this again to change the colors of this card to match it. So from the photo, we've got the paint bucket selected. I want to select my foreground color here. So click on that black square, move this out of the way, and then let's grab that yellow mustardy color again. We're gonna hit OK. Go back over to our card and paint it into the section. Then we're going to do that again. So click on the foreground, then we're going to select our color. Let's go with blue this time. And then we're going to paint that one in. We're going to do that again. So just filling in all the colors until the card reflects the photo. Brown, and then one more. So let's grab the reddish color again and click to paint here. All right, so with that done, I can select it all and copy it, paste it here on the photo, and you can see how it goes super nice with the photo here. So just a great, great, great way to make your elements match your photos. Okay, so let's close out of these, and then we'll open up the circle card, and let's do our color range. Okay, so with our card open here, we're actually going to do the same thing, the color range, but inside of Photoshop Elements, it's called something slightly different. So we're going to go up to Enhance as our menu, down to Adjust Color, and then we're going to go to Replace Color. When you bring that up, we get the menu that looks pretty much the same as our color range options in Photoshop Creative Cloud. You can select the different pieces. So I could select the teal, and it's going to select the two teal that you see here on this little mini menu. I can do the white, and it selects all of the white. Let's actually do the white, and let's change it all to black. So with this, with the white selected, the white highlighted, up here it shows the color that it currently is, down here is showing the color that you are replacing it with. So I'm going to select or click on that white box there, and I'm going to change this to the color that I want it to be. When I select the color, it's actually going to show me a preview of it here. I'm going to hit OK, and we can actually adjust the fuzziness of the edges as well. So we can go all the way out to make it fairly fuzzy. I had it preset to that 40, but I actually want to tighten this up a little bit more and make it maybe about 60. I think that'll be good. Okay, so then we can hit OK, and it's going to change the colors to black. I can then grab my glass here. I want this to be print size so we can see what this will look like when it prints out. It looks pretty darn good. So there is the color range function inside of Photoshop Elements. Let me do that again really quick. So you go up to Enhance, down to Adjust Color, down to Replace Color. This time let's select those teal ones. We're starting out with the color teal, and I want to change it to the color, I don't know, let's do like an orange. There we go. So we'll make it orange instead. We're going to hit OK and hit OK, and now those circles are changed to orange from teal. All right, friends, I hope that this has you excited to play around with some of the different coloring functions inside of Photoshop and or Photoshop not Creative Cloud, Elements. Photoshop Creative Cloud or Photoshop Elements. For this week, I would love for you to open up a couple of different cards and play around with changing their colors using both the paint bucket and the color range tool. And then I also want to encourage you to open up a photo and a card that you can use to tell a story of that photo, but change the colors of your journaling card to match your photo. So do those three things, and that will give you a really good grasp on how to change the colors of your journaling cards. Next week, I'm going to be back again. We're still working inside of journaling cards, the theme of journaling cards. Next time, we're going to be talking about resizing the cards to work for all of the different sizes we might want to use, so some basic alterations. And then the last week of July, we're going to be doing advanced alterations on some of the journaling cards, so taking it a step further and working with cards that are a little bit more complicated. I hope you look forward to those. Until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you back here next week, and have a good one, friends. Bye now.